Well, here we are once again. Good morning to you all. This is another great, beautiful day, y'all. Man, I'm inspired by today. I'm inspired by another opportunity. I'm inspired by another time that we can come together, get together, share some of these great things in the wonderful world of mental real estate. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope you guys have enlightened yourself with so many different things. But you know what? Most importantly, I hope that everybody has lived life with love and laughter, making sure that every single day is acceptable, not just to you, but for those that you've touched. So let me ask you before I even get started, how was your weekend? Did you spend time with somebody that you love? Did you get an opportunity to love somebody back? Did you grow from something that somebody shared with you? Did you get a chance to just be enlightened by something that may change the course of your life? Today is no different as Mental Real Estate continues on this Monday. Yet another Monday for us to get together and talk about the things that seem to matter so much and why it's so important that this life matters every single day. So as I get ready to get started, I had to ask the question, how is everybody? I got to check the temperature. I want to make sure that everybody is in here intentionally to know that today was designed for you. Not only designed for you, but designed for what is in your purpose. What is designed for that vision and that mission for you. So let me go ahead and say it. I am yours truly, Professor Dr. Michael Freeland. I'm right here in the seat. Once again, talking about this thing that we love and that we talk about, mental real estate. What is the mental real estate? Talking about the positive and negative contributors to your mindset. And what does that mean for you? Absolutely everything. Today is no different. And as we get ready to prepare to move into the wonderful world of the mental real estate. So let me get right to it because, you know, we can't waste and tally and we can't tarry long, as we say, but we want to make sure we get it with intention. Today, let me give you the life application because I remember, man, before I even dig into this, let me help you all understand that when I tell you guys that we were raised in church, I'm talking about me, my cousins, all of my male, female cousins. We were literally raised in church. That means sometimes there were many weeks. It seemed like there were 7 days out of the week that there was always something happening in church. Maybe 7 days of the week. And that's what it felt like. Almost every day there was something going on at church. And guess what? We had to be there. Now, here's what I love about it is that we got a chance to grow up around a lot of kids and understand a lot of times what, you know, we didn't always understand the Bible when it came to those things because we were kids and we were too busy trying to be kids. And a lot of times we were always playing. The attention span wasn't always there. But it's funny how you grow up in the church and then you don't see certain things until they show up later. Certain things, they don't show up until later. Now, let me fast forward to today because I want to give it to you straight. When it comes to how we was raised in the church, I can remember my mom allowing us as we got older to start doing more things, start doing a few more things that seem more child appropriate. Now, I can tell you, if a lot of people don't know, I was born with this rare leg condition, this Milroy's disease that I still live with to this day. And it's funny, as I grew up as a kid, I dealt with a lot of torment. I dealt with a lot of teasing. I dealt with a lot of bullies. I dealt with a lot of things because I had a leg condition and it didn't restrict me. It just constricted me. And there was a lot of things that I just could not do that I wanted to do so much. But one of the things I said, and even in my book, if you've never grabbed it, Free Your Land, Developing Your Mental Real Estate, one of these things that I loved and I gravitated to was dancing. Dancing was something that meant a lot to me because it was the one thing that I realized that I can do that I didn't have to follow somebody's rules. It was the one thing I could do that I didn't have to fall under some type of guideline in order to do it. It was just me being loose with my body and understanding where I can move, what I can do, and enhancing what I love. So one of the things I did is that I loved to dance so much that I would go to parties, and my mom started allowing us to go to certain parties. And I can remember this one particular time, and I'm telling y'all, man, when I would go to parties, I put everything I loved into dancing. Everything. I would put knees on concrete. I didn't care. I put my back on concrete. I didn't care. I did everything I could to be the best dancer I could. Now, I was like a hip-hop dancer, okay? So check this out. I can remember this one particular time, my mom allowed me and my brother to go to this party at the university. They was having big parties for a lot of teenagers back then. So we went to this party. We was having a great time, y'all, but check this out. So I'm in there and I'm dancing. Now, listen. I did not get over 5 feet until I was almost a junior in high school. So I was really short. I wasn't a buck 10 soaking wet, holding a brick. I was really lightweight, okay? So check this out. Don't judge me. So we're in this party and I'm dancing. Now I've did all this working out at home. My mama knew it. I was tearing up stuff. But I love to go and dance at these parties. So as I got into these parties, I would have a good time. So my mom let us go. Me and my brother in there dancing. Now, no, my brother didn't dance. I'm going to just tell you straight up. Yeah, that wasn't his thing. But for me, I loved it. So I was in this particular party, and when I go into parties a lot of time, my brother, he's older than me, bigger than me. He just disappears. He just goes to do what he do. That's fine. I do what I do. So as I'm in this party, I'm dancing, having a good time. And I can recall this one individual that was in this party. And while he was in this party, he seemed to be somebody who just walked around looking for trouble. He just seemed to be that one person walking around looking for something to get into. And I was just dancing, having a good time. And I can remember him walking by me, and I might have said something not disrespectful, but I might have said something that maybe was misunderstood. And next thing I know, I'm hearing people around the party talking about this guy wants to fight me. Now listen, this guy was probably about, and I'm not going to use his name, I still remember him, but this guy was probably about 6'2", 6'3". Now I told you I didn't get over 5 foot till I was almost a junior in high school. And I was probably a junior in high school when this happened. So I might have been about 5'1". Check it out. So I'm in this party, I'm dancing. Now what happened is, I danced in such a way it attracted attention. So people wanted to see that type of dancing. So I would be in there cutting up. I was having a good time. And I heard somebody say, Mike, so-and-so wants to fight you. I said, what? Yeah, so-and-so said he want to fight you. I'm like, you know what? Okay, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to keep having a good time. And I kept my eyes open. So as I'm dancing, I'm having a good time. I look around and I see this gentleman just kind of walk by, again, looking at me. He just looking at me like he mugging me, right? So I'm saying, what is this all about? Didn't care. I'm dancing. So somebody came to me again and said, he wants to fight you. He's looking for you. So I said, I'm right here, no problem. You know what? Because we was taught, you face your challenges. You ain't finna run from nothing. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna run. I'm just gonna be right here. I didn't know whether I could take this guy or not. I knew he was huge, big. So check it out. So I said, okay, I'm going to wait for him, and I'm going to just tell him I'm over here then. I got so sick and tired of hearing about it. I told him, just tell him come over here then. So he started walking. Somebody told him something. He came and he looked over, and he got right in my face. Now, this guy came over me, and he stood about 1 foot taller than me, okay? Bigger guy, broader shoulders, just a big dude. And he stood right over the top of me and looked down at me. And he said something about he was going to kick my behind, So I looked at him and I just said something to him. Now, the first thing I'm thinking is, look, if this guy is this big, you better be first. So I'm standing there, right? Now, I told y'all when we got into the party, me and my brother, we go different ways. My brother takes off this way. I do my thing. He do his thing. We catch up when it's over. We go home. So I'm standing in there. Now, I don't know where my brother's at all. And I'm not looking for him because he's my big bro. But I'm not looking for him. I'm like, this is my challenge. This is my fight. I'm getting ready to see what I can do. I'm going to work this out. No problem. I'll take it if I got to take it. But I ain't backing down. So either way, we standing there. We getting ready to square up. And all of a sudden, listen to me, y'all. All of a sudden, I feel something on the back of my shirt. Okay. And when I feel it on the back of my shirt, I feel a snatch. Guess who it is? Listen, this is the one time I'm barely over 5 foot. I got a crowd of people around me watching, waiting to see what's going to happen. Now, I'm a teenager. We're in this party, and I'm getting ready to try to get with this guy. And guess it. And I wasn't backing down. So you know what? There's some pride in standing up for yourself, if nothing else. Stand up for yourself. But when I got ready to go ahead and square up with the guy, I feel a tug on the back of my shirt, and then I get snatched. And I turn around. I ain't seen him the whole time. All of a sudden, guess what? It's my brother standing in front of me. Now, guess what? The gentleman who was trying to fight me, who I said was standing 1 foot taller than me, is now looking into the face of somebody else who actually stood 1 foot taller than me. So my brother grabs me by the shirt, yanks me back, and steps in front of me, pushes me back, stands in front of me. And as soon as he stepped in front of me, the gentleman that was there, who was looking to challenge to fight me, which I was okay. I got to deal with it. But who was doing this stepped in front of me. My brother stepped in front of me, and when he looked at the guy who was trying to look for me, he realized that was my brother standing in front of me. And when he saw that that was my brother standing in front of me, the first thing he said was, I don't have a problem with you. It's your brother. And my brother said, if you got a problem with my brother, you got to deal with me. So, so needless to say, everything about that situation dissolved. Immediately, it dissolved. Now, this is Monday Mental Real Estate. I'm helping you understand some positive and negative contributors to your mindset. And there's some things about this because as it's funny, as my brother got older, he still carries, even to this day, the same characteristics about his brother. Now, let me enlighten you, because for those of y'all that may not know, me and my brother, we grew up tough. Now, we fought. Like me and my brother, we got into it, okay? We got into it all the time. But listen, have you ever had that individual in your family that you would get into it with all the time? Didn't matter where you was at. You was always into something between one another, some disagreement, and there may have been some fights. That's just part of being kids, growing up and understanding. But then it's something how that same person who you would torment, that same person that tormented you, you guys would go back and forth with each other. And then you realize at some point, somebody's coming in between what you guys have going on. They're not a part of this family, but at the same time, there's a threat there. And it seems like the one time they could allow you to be tormented by somebody else, they step right in. They step right in. That's funny, as they used to say, I can mess with him, I can fight with him, I can beat him up, I can do all the things that I want to do to him, but you better not touch him. You remember days like that? Now listen, here it is. As I said, as we get older, my brother, who's still doing his thing, it still has the same demeanor, the same type of personality, is that you better not mess with mine. Do what you want, say what you want, but leave mine alone. Listen, now let me help you with something, because I want to go to something that's going to help and enlighten you. It's going into Psalms 37 verse 23. Check it out. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. The steps what? Of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Now listen, let me tell you something about this word, because I love it, because listen, the word is, I'm giving you two phases. Listen to me clearly. The word is solid as granite, but gentle as a flower. I'm going to say that again. The word is solid as granite, but gentle as a flower. Now, I'm going to break that down to you one more time. I'm going to read that. Psalms 37 verse 23. Listen, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, solid as granite. Listen to me. And then it says, and he delighteth in his way, gentle as a flower. Now, what I'm saying to you is that, isn't this something how you get into this book? But if you read into this, what you don't understand is that if he said it, you can book it. Yeah. If he said it, if the Lord said, if it's in the word, if it's in the book and he said it, you got to book it. Because I told you before, the word is solid as granite, but gentle as a flower. Isn't that something how that works? Now, let me talk to you a little bit more about this solid as a granite, because my brother, in all his ways, he does so many different things, but he is a protector. As I got done telling you, when it comes to the protection of how these things move in your life, in your mental real estate, your mindset. Isn't it something how women, they love having a husband. They love having that loved one that is around them. But listen, what makes a man so solid when it comes to having a wife, when it comes to having his children, when it comes to what the man provides? It's not just about going to the job. It's not just about bringing the check home, making sure the kids have shoes on their feet, a roof over their head, and clothes on their backs. It's not just about that. If the woman understands what I'm saying right now, you would know one of the man's strongest qualities is the ability for protection. Now, what is it about this thing called protection? Because we're talking about women who love the fact that a man can provide protection. Now, let me tell you, I just told you when I started, we were raised in church. Raised in it. With no wavering. Every week, almost every day of the week, raised in the church. And we just moved around like kids do. We didn't always listen to the message. We didn't always understand what the Bible was saying because it was so complex in the King James Version. We didn't always get that, but we were in the midst of what was happening in the church. Now, here it is. There are people in life that are groomed. Now, I'm saying this because I want you to hear me. Because when my brother stepped in, he jumped in as my big brother. He pulled me out of the situation I was in. I didn't mind staying in the situation, but I said apparently he knew something better than I did. So when my big brother grabbed my shirt, threw me behind him, and jumped in front of me and said, "Is there a problem? If you got a problem with him, you have a problem with me." A lot of times you would see that situation clash. It would clash. But in this situation, it was different. Why? Because it de-escalated the situation. But why? Let me help you. There are people that were raised protected to be protection. Listen to me, y'all. There are people that are raised protected so that they can be protection. Now here it is. It's funny because you wonder why the situation dissolved the way that it did. It's one thing if my brother stepped in and them two got into it. Now I got to get into it because I can't let my brother just fall down for me. I got to do what I got to do because he's handling things in my honor. By pushing me out the way and taking charge of the situation, he is now putting himself in a position to be exactly where I was, to go through what I was, and you don't know what the outcome is going to be. But when you're protected to be protection, you are standing in the face of the protected. When my brother said, "I got him. This is my brother. You're not going to touch him." And the man who was trying to come after me, the young fella who was standing a foot taller than me, is now facing somebody you would say is his equal. And as he looked him in the face as his equal, he didn't see somebody that was just my brother. He didn't see somebody who's trying to take up from me. He didn't see somebody who was just ready to, jump on him. What he saw is what you would say and see as protection. People are protected to be protection. And when you're in the face of that, and you get to witness how that works, it's something different when you understand it. This is maybe something that needed to happen. Because it's funny, as much as I wanted to get into it, could I and would I have been able to protect myself? And see, that's funny because when God sees people who may not be strong enough, don't be surprised when somebody who is protected becomes your protection. Listen to me. Listen to me. Don't be surprised when somebody who has been protected for all of these years, who has invested their life into understanding what it's all about, when they step in and when you're in a moment in your life and you don't understand what it's like, and they step in and they become your protection. Ladies, isn't it a good feeling when you go to bed at night and you don't have to worry about the household? Isn't it a good feeling when your children go to bed and you don't have to worry about the household? And I know there's a lot of single mothers out there, but the thing is, listen, you have been protected to still be protection. It's not just a man's job. God chooses when it comes to this thing. But listen here, I want to move forward because this is a good thing, because I wanted to go to something else and then touch on that, and then I'm going to leave y'all alone today. Because in Romans chapter 8, verse 31, it says, listen, what shall we then say to these things? Listen to me now clearly. Romans chapter 8, verse 31, I'm reading it directly, KJM, King James Version. Check it out. What shall we say then to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? Now listen. As I got done telling you about that protection thing, about how me and my brother went to battle with each other, we did everything. We fought, man. We got into it. We tore the house up, did all these things. And then when it was all said and done, nobody else could touch me. I'll deal with him, but you don't. And it says here, if God be for us, if God be for us. Now here, let me break this down, because the scripture says once again, what shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? Here it is. If God be for us, and I'm breaking this down twice. I told you just a second ago that the word is solid as granite, but gentle as a flower. That's the word. Listen to me. It came to me. It's solid as granite, If he said it, you can book it, but gentle as a flower. Now, why am I saying that? Listen, it says, if God be for us. Now, there's two ways I want to break this down to you. That's funny because we move around and say, the Lord is the head of my life. God is the head of my life. And I gave my life to Christ at 20, y'all, real talk. I gave my life to Christ at the age of 20 years old. And it said, if God be for us, what does that mean? Okay, we see that means I'm with you. There's two ways to look at this. You can be in the fight and he says, I know you got this. I'm for you. I support you. Don't worry about that. You're mine. I'm yours and you're mine and you belong to me. So if God is for you, the support is there. If God is for you, that means that the anchor is there. If God is for you, that means, as I said earlier, your steps would be what? Of a good man are ordered by the Lord. He knew that. So that means you still come under that what? Protection when it comes to how it is if God be for us. Now, let me take the same phrase and mental real estate this thing. Because a lot of times people don't have the fortitude or haven't been in the faith long enough to know that when you say that, if God be for us, who can be against us? It's a quote to some people. It's reality to others. It's a quote for some people, but reality to others. If God be for you, then you understand that you are his, he is yours, you are protected. But let me tell you something. There are times when we are weak in our lives and in our bodies and in our minds. We don't always comprehend the way we want to. We don't move the way we want to. Our faith hasn't grown like we expected. But here it is. If God be for us, that's funny. He says, if he's for you, I broke it down. But let me say this again. If God be for you. Did you hear that? Say that again, Professor. If God before you, if he's before you, that's funny because they say, hold on to his unchanging hand. Listen to that. Hold on to God's unchanging hand. Remember that? They made songs about it. Love it. But here's the thing. Here's the key. If God is before you, doesn't that mean that he's creating and making a way for you? That's one thing to say, if God be for you. Yeah, I support you. You're mine, I'm yours. But there's a difference when it is, if God be for you. That means if you moving, progressing down the road, you don't know what you're getting ready to walk into, but it seems that God has gone before you. That way. He's gone before you. And if he's gone before you, how many times have you went to that intersection and you see a 3-car accident? Come on now. Don't hold back now. How many times have you felt that pain in your chest and you just belched and felt better? Come on now, I'm not messing with you now. If God be before you, there's certain things that you don't see in the element of understanding the way God works, that he goes before you. It's not that he's just for you. He has to go sometimes before you. Because you don't just avert accidents. You don't just go past heart attacks. You don't just go through the stress. You don't go through that. Sometimes things have to go before you. Would you rather deal with the stress or the heart attack you was just getting ready to have? Or would you rather have that anxiety that just gives you a little something to have to steady? Would you rather take off without even thinking and just go on your way? Or would you rather just process what you got going on before you start your day? God is a different type of God when it comes to this, because the word is solid as granite, but it's gentle as flowers. Now, let me break this down again. I'm going to be done. It said, if God be for us, if God be for us. And then it said, who can be against us? This is what I love about the word, because he gives you a way to interpret, but yet still make it so complex. Give me that solidarity. Give me that granite. Or just give me that flower. Because it says, who can be against us? If God be for us, solid as granite. Why is that? Because if he said it, you can book it. But he said, who can be against us? That's a real good question to ask, isn't it? That's your flower right there. Who can be against us when we're talking about, and I'm going to wrap this up. Who can be against us? That's funny. When we say who can be against us, is that we got people all the time. It seems like somebody always coming for you. Somebody's always got something to say. I'm sorry. They told me as long as you live, somebody going to have something to say about you. Whether it makes it true or not, there's always something said. It said, who? You tell me who can be against you when you have me in your corner. When I am your cornerstone, who can be against us? Didn't say me, didn't say you, it said us. Every single one of us. But here it is. Let me give it to you straight. I love it because it's mental real estate. But when it comes to this thing, it says, if God be for us, who can be against us? Y'all ready for this? You notice that there is not the word what in that text, in that context. In that scripture in Romans 8:31, it said, what shall we then say to those things? If God be for us, who can be against us? But when I said that, I didn't, there's something that got left out. Because a lot of times we misunderstand when we're talking about who's and what's. So when we're talking about the what, listen, it doesn't excuse quite a few things. It said, who can be against you? Point them out. Tell me. Remember when your kids would come to you, mama, they talking about me. Mama, he hit me. And you say what? Who did it? Who put their hands on you? Who touched you? Who said this? Who did that? That means identify the individual that has created the offense. But when we're talking about the scripture, I want to help you understand, because we can misunderstand who's for what. Can you say what can be against us? That's the one thing that's not in there. Why? Because you're not rescued from the persecution. You're not rescued from the things in life that happen to you. You're not rescued from the anxiety. You're not rescued from the stress. You are, they said, who can be against us? Who are these people? Who are these individuals? But when wouldn't it be something if it said, if God be for us, what can be against us? Because we haven't identified the what. The what is something different, because when it comes to the what, you're not rescued from the trials of life. You're not rescued from the trials of life. You're meant to go through these trials of life. But in the midst of going through, you're going to find out who is against you. Mental real estate, y'all, because I love when I get an opportunity, but yet still the book is read. Solid as granite, but gentle as a flower, but yet and still it opens up and it shows you a different perspective about the way that we think when we're talking about who can be against us. That's right. You, who else? Y'all step on up. Who else is it? I want to know, because I want to know who my enemies are. But then at the same time, it says, wait a minute now. You forgot about the what? What's against you? So this is mental real estate today to help you understand what's against you. Now, what makes it so good is that it's all about you. What is against you today? Because the word is meant to give you that structure. It creates the guide. It creates so many different things for you. But a lot of times we read into it so deep that we misunderstand what's on the inside of that. If it said who can be against you, it's one thing. Yes, you are protected. And like I said before, some people are protected to be the protection. And you have to allow that in times that you need it. But when it comes to the what, there are things that are what is against you that we haven't identified, because a lot of times in the word, when it says who could be against us, you think there's a directive in there that includes everything. There's a disclaimer that includes everything that is against you, everything that is against you. And you think that phrase in that verse goes with everything, but it doesn't. Because what it doesn't do is it doesn't address the what is against you. But I want to help you and enlighten you and help you understand that even though we read and we say these prayers and things, there's things that God places in your way that you're going to stumble. There's things that he allows you to go through that you're going to fall. There's things that he's going to pick you up from that you're going to be excited about. Therein lies the what. And when it comes to the what, and you as an individual in the life that you live and what you want to see for yourself, how can you move forward? How do we continue to elevate and move through the things that life and God has given us? Because we have to understand that what. This isn't about the who, because my brother showed up for me. My brother showed up for me when I was in that party. I didn't see him the whole time. But yet and still, when it came time for the appropriateness of the moment, he stepped right in. And that's what it is about your life and your relationship with God. Because when it comes to the appropriateness of the moment, he steps right in. You may not see him when you want him. You may be looking for him and can't find him. He may be in the area and you can't call his name for him to hear you. But when it comes to the appropriateness of where he's at, he steps in right when you need him. just as my brother did for me. So this is your Monday Mental Real Estate with yours truly, Professor Dr. Michael Freeland, just giving you some enlightenment to help you understand and listen. There's a lot of things that when it comes to the protection, stay protected. Because even if you don't know how, God may send somebody to be your protection. Because the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. And when it comes to this thing that we're talking about, the life, man, my goodness, what shall we say then to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? I'm yours truly, Professor Dr. Michael Freeland, wanting to enlighten you about some ways of this life, some things that we share and things that we go through. And today is no different as we move forward. So God bless you all. Thank you for taking your time out to just be with me on this Monday Mental Real Estate. Let me shout some folks out. Angela Warren, my cousin, I love you. It has been some time, but I love that you're doing well. It's always good. When I see people in here, man, I get enriched. Why? Because these are people that I love, and some of them I hadn't talked to or hadn't seen in years, but it's always good to connect with the people that you love, especially your family. So cousin, I love you. Angela, thank you for being in here. I appreciate you. Cookie Johnson, Mom Johnson, how you doing? I see you in here, and keep standing on the word. Keep being in good faith, mother. Let me tell you, Cookie Johnson, special woman. Her and my mama like this. But family all over and family all day. This is what I love about the people that we connect with, guys, because we continue to empower one another, to build one another, and to share with one another. And my other mother, I got 3 mothers, y'all. I'm sorry. When you hear me say that, they know it, and they all know who each other is. Deborah Zolikoff, Mother Zolly, I love you, Mom. This is where it's at, y'all. But y'all hear me say my life's blood, you know that's my real one, okay? But when it comes to the mothers that have been, and I say that because they have been mothers to me for years. Mothers to me for years. Now, why do I say that? Because in years, it has been different. In years, I've had my challenges. In years, they've seen me cry. They've seen me hurt. They fed me. They sheltered me. They gave me a place of refuge. They did everything. So why wouldn't I call them mom when they treated me like a son? And it wasn't because my mama didn't lack anything when it came to being my mother. And my mom at times didn't want to have to share me, but she realized that these women treat me with the love of a son. And so she made it okay for me to make sure that I called them mom and I gave them all the love they deserve. So let me shout out a few more people. I'm going to let you guys go. Ronnie Tisdale, good morning, my dear. I appreciate you, my sweetie. I appreciate you. Thank you for being in here. Jetta Thompson, love you, mother. God bless you. Amazing, amazing things is coming your way. Continue to believe and continue to grow as we go. So listen, if I missed anybody else, charge it to the head and not the heart. My big brother, Antoine Montooth, all the way in PA. What's going on, big bro? I see you. As always, love you, man. And last but not least, my life's blood, my mother, my mama, who has always been there, who's always prayed for me, who's always been through everything with me with this Milroy's disease. We have done this together, Mom, and we're going to continue to grow. Mental Real Estate is about to get back across the water, y'all. Pray for me as I pray for you, and let us continue to grow so that we can go. I've been protected now, and there's a time for me to be that protection. Maybe it is for you too. God bless you all. Have yourself a great day, and we'll talk again soon, okay? Have a good one. Bye-bye.